Welcome everyone to Gamer Melt. Today I have some good news and bad news for Navi, and AMD is teaming up to build the world's most powerful supercomputer. But first, don't forget about the Gamer Melt Rewards program, where every 3 months, $5 patrons who have been paying for at least 3 months are sent out a small gift. Unfortunately, the deadline for the Athlon 64 X2 was May 1st, but the next gift will also be a CPU, so consider joining at patreon.com/gamermeld or follow the link in the description below. Okay, it's news time, and first up for today, originally brought to my attention by the Meld Militia, I have some good news and some bad news on AMD's next-gen Navi architecture. For those of you who saw my recent video on the potential leak from Adored TV, he sent out an update. Now, remember that the specs he originally presented were the goal for Navi, a target for engineers to hit, but unfortunately it looks like they flat aren't able to. And yes, that may sound like a cop-out from Adored TV's source, to which it very well might be, but some of the rumors have been echoed by multiple people, so it's best to listen. Oh, and there's a silver lining, but first is the bad news. Coming from a source that Adored TV's been in contact with for quite a while now, while Navi is reaching target clocks, it's having major issues with thermals. He went on to say that Navi is fundamentally flawed and that the engineers just want to move on to the next architecture. And unfortunately, that could be true, especially since this has been confirmed to be yet another GCN-based architecture. And while they made some major changes to it, it's clearly more hassle than it's worth. Now on to the good news, or should I say good-ish news. The original leaker who shared AMD's plans for Navi gave us an updated list of chips with updated specs. As always with these, it's best to take it with some skepticism. As far as the specs, you can see things have changed a little with somewhat higher TDP, pricing, and less performance, but it is still very impressive. For example, you have the RX 3080 XT comparable to the RTX 2070 for just $330. And that could be possible, given AMD is likely to use GDDR6 instead of the much more expensive HBM2 this time around. But the RX 3090 XT, earlier known as a special edition chip, went from 20% more powerful than a 2080 to 10% over the Radeon 7. That's certainly a change. Unfortunately, the same user later emailed Adored TV and said, quote, "Disregard most of your faith in Navi. The engineers can't wait to be done with it. Oh, and that 60 compute units on Navi doesn't get the same performance as 60 on Vega 20. Ouch, that stings. Though of course this could mean Navi needs higher clocks to get better performance, so the previous specs he sent could still be relevant, but it's tough to say. At the recent Q1 earnings call, AMD's CEO stated that the price point for Navi is under the Radeon 7. But does that mean performance will be as well, making the Navi 20 GPU clearly wrong? Or is it just price, practically confirming it? And some have mentioned Radeon 7 being the best this year, but Navi 20 likely isn't coming until next year. Basically, from this, I can't say for sure, and things do seem to be moving around within AMD, so I doubt anyone can give us a very clear answer at the moment. Still, while there's hope, I definitely wouldn't get too excited for the time being. Lastly for today, the US Department of Energy has contracted the company Cray Inc. to build the world's most powerful supercomputer. The Frontier supercomputer is expected to debut in 2021, and they've apparently chosen AMD to supply the horsepower. While Cray is using its own Shasta architecture and Slingshot interconnect, they'll be connecting AMD's EPYC CPUs and Radeon Instinct graphics cards. It's expected to cost over $600 million and have a performance of over 1.5 exaflops. For anyone who doesn't understand the insane power of this thing, 1 exaflop delivers a quintillion calculations a second. As for size, the Frontier will be over 90 miles of cabling and take up nearly 2 full basketball courts. And keep in mind that this is right after Intel and Cray Inc. were commissioned by the DOE to build Aurora the same year, a $500 million supercomputer that's expected to get 1 exaflop of computational power, making Frontier 50% more powerful than Aurora, though it's also $100 million more. Obviously, this is a huge opportunity for AMD, and let's hope that between Intel and AMD, someone can bring exascale computing to the US very soon. So while that does it for today, if you can't tell, I have been a little sick for the past few days, so I do apologize if my voice sounds pretty bad. Hopefully it'll be getting better soon. But yeah, what did you think of the news? Are you still excited for Navi, or are you a little bit concerned about these issues? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, definitely make sure to subscribe. And as always, have a great day.